Hey guys, Mike from Shamino's workshop. Here we have our latest commission. This one's really nice. I was very impressed when I received and opened this. This is Rahm Kota's lightsaber. Rahm Kota was a Jedi from the Force Unleashed game, which I believe is not canon. I believe that's Legends. Excuse me. The hilt was actually a small batch created by Seth Woolf, Hearts of Kyber. I think he did 4 of these, and if he does another 4, I definitely am going to want one of these. All hand machined, weathered. So impressed. Designed or manufactured, machined to be installed. Includes the buttons. There's an auxiliary button back here under the wrapping. Blade retention, blade plug, leather that's been weathered. The strapping has been weathered. I'm not sure. It feels like a cotton-ish type material. Not really sure what that is. So impressed. Kill key's in here. Let me take the kill key out. So we went Proffieboard with this one. So this has Proffie 2.2 SA22 fork, color change fork, 28mm bass speaker from Smuggler's Outpost, chassis that that I designed and printed, recharge port, standard stuff, Shtok NPXL PCB connector. Switch holder for the auxiliary. What else? 1 inch blade with pretty good blade depth. It probably goes down to about there, so maybe that's a solid 2 inches, maybe a little more. The blade plug doesn't offer shine through, so maybe some feedback for Seth, because I'm assuming Seth made the plug. If not, apologies, but maybe offer a way for light to shine through these holes here. That really the only enhancement or suggestion I could provide. All right, so let me. That's a weird boot up sound. The font, the customer worked with Brandon at Repulse to create a custom font. You can find it on his Repulse custom fonts website. God, I'm sorry, Brandon, if I'm getting your website name wrong. Blind General, if I remember right. Don't be confused with Kanan. Blind Knight. In case you haven't played the Force Unleashed games, I won't ruin it. But go check them out. Okay, so let me get that line back up. So the pommels cover tech, it secures the pommel to the hilt, and so I made use of that same cover tech hole and screw to secure the chassis in place, make sure it doesn't wobble around. But the chassis is, pretty snug. It's not going to move too much, but also not too snug. So as you can see, you should be able to remove it. Let's see. Get the blade in there. Number of fonts. I've worked with this customer before on a couple of installs. So he knows what he wants. He did me a huge favor and basically provided the fonts and the config file for Proffie that he wanted me to use. Just some minor tweaks, but all the blade styles, all the fonts. So So that was nice. Thank you for that. I like the effect that he has when you shut the blade off. It kind of flashes and then collapses. Even the lockup. So he has color change, I believe. I'm not sure if it's every font, but definitely the first two fonts, which are Kota fonts. So we make use of the color change feature on the SA22 fork. Which one? Hold aux? No, hold power? Yeah. So hold power, press aux. And then you can cycle through it. There's different configurations. You could swing to have it change. So you enter color change mode and swing, and that changes color. He's disabled that in his config, so it's just the button combination to change colors, cycle through. And then once you're done, you know, it's already locked in. So each time you change the color, that color gets locked in, it gets saved, so that if you, well, maybe I should do it with a, whoops, music track. I'll do it with a different color. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. So even powering the saber off or killing power with the kill key, it'll persist the color change to the SD card, so it remembers it the next time you fire it up. And that works across the fonts, right? So if I make the first font orange, make the second one green, the third one blue, and so on, each font can have its own color, and it will remember that. I'll take the opportunity. Frederick released the latest core Proffie OS version 3.9. He's taken a lot of the features from the SA22 fork and incorporated them into the main core OS. Some of the implementations are slightly different, so you can't just take your config file with your presets and expect it to work. You will have to change them. So it wasn't done exactly how SA22 did it. The features there, just implemented differently. So keep that in mind. I probably won't move to the 3.9 fork unless a customer specifically wants it. It's my understanding that whatever new features were added would be ported to the fork, and the fork would still persist. Because while they're similar, they're not identical. You know, there's features in the fork that don't exist in core OS, and maybe vice versa. So we'll see how that plays out over time. Let's see.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
A lot of Jesse's fonts. I didn't write down the list of fonts. There's a slew of fonts on here.
Luke Skywalker. General Crow, you're being relieved of duty.
I think that's one of Jesse's new fonts as well. If you're not seeing all the blade effects, it's because I programmed the board for 130 pixels, which is pretty standard number for a 36-inch blade. I have my 12-inch demo blade in, which only has 42 pixels. I didn't want to forget, because I'm known to do that. There's a couple of you out there who would agree that I'll forget to reprogram, and that's not fun for anybody. So I kept it 130, and I'll deal with it on my demo videos, just because I don't want to have to forget it and then have everything shipped back to reprogram it. Which reminds me, I want to speak to Frederick. I want to see if there's some way that we can take the pixel count and get it on the SD card in a config file, so that it doesn't have to be hard-coded and pre-compiled, where it would require a board, excuse me, a reprogramming of the board just to change the pixel count. So I have to remember to do that. And hopefully he agrees.
This job isn't always pretty.
That's my Boba Fett, my Hunter's Bounty, that Brandon I had commissioned. Love this font. Got the hum of Slave One's engines in the background.
Mantle of the Force.
Ascension. At last we will have our revenge.
Darth Maul. Electric Staff? I think. Vader, obviously. Yoda.
What is thy bidding, my master?
A Maul font. Wraith. I think the customer had this one created as well, if I remember right.
Jedi, prepare for death.
And then we have our battery check.
I can sense how powerful you are.
And that's the first. So he has the main Kota font and then a second Kota font.
Months of attacking Imperial targets, and Vader sends a boy to fight me? I can sense how powerful you are.
Probably won't balance well. Strapping's kind of getting in the way there. So be sure to like and check out Seth's page, Hearts of Kyber. If I remember, I'll put it in the description. He's done these. I believe he has another, not a batch of these, but another batch of a custom saber that he's going to be making. And I think he's done something else as well. So go check him out, like his page, give him props for making this. But don't steal my saber. If he does make another run of these, I want priority. I want the pick of the litter. What else? I gotta remember to put that back in. Yeah, any questions? The chassis that I made, specific to this hilt. So obviously I'll hold on to it. Maybe I'll throw it up on the Etsy store. Just in the event that somebody else purchased the other three and wanted to have them installed, I have the chassis ready to go. I know Seth also has his own chassis where he's done, I think he did a CF10 install on one of them. At least that's what's on his page, I think. So any questions, leave some feedback, reach out to me. Let me know what you think of this. I'm really loving it. Even my wife loved it, which is saying something. I was joking with the customer on this one as well. She couldn't, she likes Star Wars, but sabers, she couldn't really care less. This one she saw and she's like, wow, that's really awesome. So, thumbs up. You got my wife's vote. All right, take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.